Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions, chartered accountants, business and tax advisors based in Essex and central London. We have highly trusted and professionally qualified chartered accountants ready to assist you with every step, from business startup to your final submissions with HMRC. We've been serving a wide variety of clients since 2007, covering a range of sectors from consultancy, catering and transport, to travel, construction, public health, landlord accounts, CIS and many more.
Ultimate Accounting is my accountant. I think they're amazing at what they do and I'd recommend them to anybody.
I'm running a restaurant. Ultimate Accountant is my accountant and I really recommend anybody.
Excellent service, would recommend them to anyone.
So for all of your accounting needs, including bookkeeping, VAT, payroll and tax planning services, you can contact us today with complete confidence. Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions, New Broad Street House, Liverpool Street, London, and 27 Longbridge Road, Barking. Or visit our website at www.ultimateaccountingsolutions.co.uk.
Good evening, all our viewers. I hope you all are doing really great, and welcome to our show by Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions. Hopefully you all are doing great. Today we will discuss about different financial support given by UK government to small and medium size of businesses, to all employees, to landlord, to tenants, to everybody, to every citizens of United Kingdom. We will try our best to go through recent updates on different financial supports by UK government. And we have some dignified guests with us in the studio today. So I would like to introduce my guest, and I will introduce my guest one by one. So first, I would like to introduce Mr. Dabir Ahmed, FCCA. So hi, Dabir bhai, how are you? Say hello to our viewers.
Yeah, I'm fine, Ajit. Hello, viewers. Hope everybody is safe and sound. We'll talk later.
Thank you, Dabir bhai. Then we have another guest who is a solicitor by practice, Mr. Anwar Khan. How are you, Mr. Khan? Could you say hello to our viewers, please?
Hi, thank you. Hello, viewers. We'll try to give some information to you regarding different issues. So we'll talk to you soon. Then see you soon.
Thank you, Anwar bhai. Thank you, Dabir bhai, for giving your precious time. Now, due to COVID-19, actually, as you all know, that we are getting so much phone calls, so much queries from clients from every sectors. Like solicitors get a lot of clients call, accountant gets a lot of clients call, mortgage advisor get a lot of clients call, and also friends and family. There are a lot of doubts, a lot of confusions. So the aim and objective of this program to give you some updates and some more information so you can take an informed decision. So দর্শক বৃন্দ, আপনারা আমাদেরকে যারা দেখছেন তাদেরকে আবারও আমরা স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আমাদের এই studiote. First of all, can I request Dabir bhai, if you can tell us a little bit more about the bank loan, that bounce back loan, and how actually clients can get it and how that can be useful to everybody else. So Dabir bhai, if you could kindly describe our viewers about bounce back loan, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajit. The government is trying to support our businesses through different, schemes, and one of the scheme is actually loan scheme. So our businesses within our community can actually get access mainly two type of loan scheme. One is bounce back scheme, another is coronavirus business interruption loan scheme. Now, bounce back scheme is 100% guaranteed by government. So what do I mean by that? I mean that government has guaranteed it, so it's actually for bank, it is risk free. So bank does not need any requirement to show any accounts or management accounts or anything like that. If you need loan, you go and approach your bank. Bank should give you £2,000 to £50,000 depending on your turnover. 25% of your turnover, bank should give you that loan. Now, if any businesses need more than £50,000, they need to apply coronavirus business interruption loan scheme. which is not necessarily 100% backed by government. It is only 80% backed by government. Because there is some risk element over here, so bank would ask some documentation, such as your accounts, your cash flow forecast, your management accounts, sometimes maybe guarantor, these sort of things. And bounce back scheme, the interest rate is 2.5%. Doesn't matter which lender you are taking from. But for coronavirus interruption loan scheme, the percentage depend on the bank to bank. Both scheme, the first year interest is free. There is no interest to pay in the first year. So this can be a good thing for cash flow management for our small businesses, our community businesses, which is really at the moment is struggling with cash. So this is something they should consider if they are struggling with cash, because the first year, the loan, you don't need to pay anything, any interest, it's interest free. And obviously it is more accessible at the moment. And then interest rate is quite low compared to normally what used to be. Thank you, Mr. Ajit.
Thank you, Dabir bhai. So far I know that bounce back loan, I mean, anybody can take it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think if you are self-employed, even you can take the bounce back loan. If you're a limited company, you can take the loan.
You can take it even.
Right.
You can take it, doesn't matter whether it's self-employed or limited company or partnership. You can take it, yeah.
Right. One additional information, I mean, I was actually looking some options for some of my clients. What I found, if you don't have any business bank account, you know, normally what they do, they give you the loan to the business bank account. But if you don't have the business bank account, still with HSBC, you can apply for the new account. You can get the account sorted only for the loan purpose. So the good thing, bank is giving you the bank account only for the loan purpose, and then you can close the account. Now, our viewers can ask, okay, why is this happening? Only reason, because government is giving some commissions to the bank to get the loan. So if a client takes a loan, government pays some fees to the bank. For that reason, also some banks, what they're doing, they give you the option to open the bank account and then release the loan and then close the account. So clients and friends and family, if you don't have any bank account, business bank account, you can still open the bank account, close the bank account, and then actually apply for the bounce back loan. Now, Dabir bhai, what about some bigger businesses? Like if they have a bigger portfolio and bigger things to do, what kind of loan facilities they can have?
So obviously, if a bigger business, if they need more money, they need to go for the coronavirus business interruption loan. Over there, you know, you can take more than £50,000 up to £5 million, depending on your requirement and portfolio. Obviously, in that case, because this is not 100% back, it's only 80% back. But 80% back guarantee is also good for lenders. Lenders is not necessarily seeing this loan as a normal loan. It is still a good portion of this loan is backed by government guarantee. So they will be more likely to give you the loan. However, in these scenarios, they will be asking documentation, such as your previous accounts, your cash flow forecast, management accounts. As a practicing accountant, you know, normally you apply for a loan, what type of things they might be asking for. So over there, you might need some professional help.
Thank you. Thank you, Dabir bhai. Now, so viewers, I think you already know about bounce back loan now. So if you had any questions, if you think you need to know more about bounce back loan, I mean, you can always actually send us message through Facebook Live, and we will see this message and we will try our best to actually reply to your answers. Now,
I just want to add one more thing. You know, sometime even in our individual financing, sometimes we see that we might have a loan which we are paying high interest rate. Maybe a loan is available where we might pay low interest rate. So you can actually take a loan and offset the high interest rate loan. A businesses might not necessarily need the money at the moment, but they might have already a loan taken, which they're paying higher interest rate. Because bounce back loan is only 2.5%, they might consider it compared to whether they get the loan and offset the previous loan. Therefore, they can actually save money in interest payment.
Excellent. Yeah, this is a very good point. I'm just trying to add one bit. So viewers, if you suppose you have a business loan, which are you paying a lot of interest, what you can do, you can also take some loan under bounce back category and you can repay your previous highly interested loan. So in this way, you can manage your finance well. So thank you, Dabir bhai. So I think our viewers got enough information about bounce back loan. Now, I'd like to move to our solicitor brother, Anwar bhai. Anwar bhai, you are in practice for a long time. And so far, I know you're serving the community like a cross-community clients from different background, from different sectors. You're expert in lease, you're expert in litigations, you're expert in various on your legal sides. Now, in this pandemic situation, what kind of queries you are really getting more and more, and actually you are trying to help from your side? If you could let us know like your current view, please. Thank you.
Ajit, can I ask both of you one question before I go to take my platform? Yeah.
Sure.
I have one question for Dabir bhai and you. You were, because I have one question. I got, we are getting lots of questions. One question is, if someone takes bounce back loan, say for example, 20,000, showing he has 80,000 capital or 80,000 turnover, can he change his plan? This is number one question. Number two question, you have mentioned two things. I am also going through this way lots of time. My clients are asking these questions as well. Number one, you have mentioned to borrow some bounce back loan to say clear their old debts or to pay the high interest rate payments. Now, can they take, is it on the top of bounce back loan? Say if someone takes bounce back loan and still he has some interest, some high interest loan, can he borrow another for paying that? Number one question. Number two questions, you are talking about opening a branch, opening a bank account. I'm sorry to mention that because lots of our clients have been suffering for that. Most of the banks in this country, they are saying their business manager is on holiday, blah, blah, blah. They cannot open any branch at this time, any bank, any account in this time. Do you have any suggestions regarding this area, please? Then I will come back to my position. Thank you.
Thank you, Anwar bhai. I think because you're dealing with clients every day, so you gave us two specific questions. First of all, for few clients, we helped with HSBC. So I repeat, HSBC opened the account pretty quick for new clients. If you go to bounce back loan category in HSBC website, they clearly mention whether you have an existing account or not. If you don't have existing account, they clearly mention you can apply for a new account. And if you apply for a new account, then they give you the option, do you want to open this account only for bounce back loan, or you want to have that account for your day-to-day purpose? So HSBC has made the life quite easier. So any clients who doesn't have any business bank account, they can open business bank account with HSBC. I haven't gone through other banks. Maybe it can actually vary bank to bank. So I would request clients or viewers who is watching, you can still go to HSBC website and try to open a bank account. Last week, I know one of our clients just opened the account in 7 days. So, and then within 2 days, he got the Corona support loan. I mean, this bounce back loan. So altogether, it took 10 days to him, which is pretty good. So HSBC still got this option. And second answer, I think Dabir bhai will answer, but so far I know that bank loan, anytime you can pay back. So when you repay a business loan, there is no such penalty and interest. So if you have money, you can pay any old debt. as per the FCA regulations. But I'm not expert on FCA regulations. Obviously, I'm just sharing my experience. You will double check with right professionals. However, coronavirus loan actually doesn't depend on your previous loan balance. It only depends on your trading. It only depends on your turnover. So these loans shouldn't be affecting your previous loans. So I would request Dabir bhai to put some lights on it if it's possible. Dabir bhai.
No, Ajit, you rightly say is actually, because of the bounce back loan scheme, it's only based on your turnover. So as long as you show your turnover, bank is very much willing to give you the money. And as I explained earlier, because it's 100% backed by government guarantee, for bank perspective, bank does not see any risk at all, because in future, if some percentage of this loan if nobody can pay, then obviously government will give you the guarantee. Government will pay to the bank. So there is no requirement as such of the accounts or other things. It's only based on your turnover. It does not based on what type of liability you have. So yes, it's quite straightforward.
Thank you. So Anwar bhai, I hope you got your answer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ajit and Dabir bhai. Yes, you
Okay,
have done excellent.
So Anwar bhai, if
Ajit,
I
you
can
are
request
very
you.
professional in the community.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Anwar
Now
bhai.
let me deal with my issues. We have
Sure.
regularly lots of questions regarding coronavirus or COVID-19 effect, especially the business clients. They are suffering. As you have rightly mentioned, they have a tremendous financial hardship in this situation. So now, I want to mention a couple of things. Very little area I want to mention now. Maybe I will come back later. I have mentioned previously in another program that due to COVID-19, I will mention two situations. One is residential situation, one is commercial situation, especially in the landlord-tenant matter. In the in the residential situation, we have a very clear-cut directions by the Coronavirus Act 2020. No tenant can be evicted until 30th of September 2020. There are some amendment. It is a highly legal in the high courts. There are some amendment we say practice directions amendment, but it is only for commercial matter. We will come to the commercial matter. I am trying to give you one more information in residential property matter. All the landlords, please be careful regarding residential matter. Do not try to evict or change the law for your tenants when they are not paying. The important issue is in some households there are losers. Losers meaning they live with you, they share the kitchen, they share the bathroom or other thing with you. They are not formal tenant. They are living with the landlord. Theoretically, it is possible to evict the losses. Even coronavirus will not affect on it. Still, I request you people, because there is some notice period required to evict the losers. This notice period is slightly technical, legally technical. You cannot say how many days notice require, how many months require. You have to be careful in this area. So I request all of you, before evicting the losers, those who are living with you, please don't evict them until and unless you have a proper legal advice in this matter. Let's come back to, we'll try to concentrate on commercial tenancy, commercial landlord-tenant matter. Commercial landlord-tenant matter is slightly different than residential. As far as law is concerned, if most of the lease in this country nowadays is standard, in standard lease conditions, you can evict your tenant after 21 days of the rent arrears. So it is an express condition, express contract between the landlord and the tenant. Now, in any case, if you cannot evict the tenant within after 21 days, then you have a couple of options. I'm going very small, straightforward options that you can change the lock. Number one options. You can invite, but usually it's a good idea to appoint a bailiff, especially a high court sheriff, to change the lock. It is not a good decision to change the lock by yourself. But there will be some other implications as well. If you change the lock due to a breach of conditions, apart from the rent arrears, it will be a serious breach of law. We can explain in section 2428 of 1954 Act. It is a very clear procedure how can you evict your tenant for breach of conditions. Breach of conditions means other thing your tenant didn't follow. For those, you need to take clear legal guidance. Please do not evict your tenant unless you get a proper legal guidance. We have been suffering loss, sometimes 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, long spending, long costly litigation. Please try to avoid all those things before evicting your tenant. However, in commercial property, under Section 82 of Coronavirus Act 2020, there is a provision to evict your tenant after 15 June 2020. That has been changed, although government didn't declare anything, but we say, which you mentioned, there is a practice direction from the High Court. It will not affect, no court will take any eviction cases until end of August. That is a practice direction from the court. So for commercial purposes, you have to be more careful before evicting your tenant. In this pandemic situation, we have a lots of requests from the landlords what they can do. I always advise three situations you can deal with your client. Number one, you can set off the rent with the deposit. Number two, you can reduce the rent. Number three, you can come to a settlement with the tenant that because tenant is suffering. So this type of situation you can make with your tenant to resolve this pandemic situation. Please do not take any wrong decision because these litigations are very costly. Thank you very much for the time. Ajit.
Thank you, Anwar bhai, for your useful information. Anwar bhai, if I'm correctly understood, so tenant, commercial tenant, and usual tenant, does both have the same right in this COVID-19 situation, or they are slightly different? I mean,
Usual tenant, residential tenant. You're talking
yeah,
about commercial tenant and residential tenant.
yes. I mean, so is there any difference in their?
Residential tenant has two situations I have mentioned. One, who is a tenant residential, is a clear guideline. They cannot be evicted before 30th September 2020. But there are another situation, especially in our ethnic minority people, we put some losers, not the, in real sense, they are not the tenant, but in legal sense, they are tenant. The losers can be evicted by giving a sufficient notice. Now, coronavirus will not affect in evicting this type of losers, but they cannot evict the tenant. This is for the residential tenants. Residential tenants are strictly prohibited. Be careful, please, viewers. Please do not evict your residential tenants. It will be seriously a bad litigation for you, and we cannot help in most of the situation. In some situation, that will go against you, and they may bring lots of unnecessary damage issues against you. So, commercial residential tenants, be careful, the landlords. You might have lots of consequences if you evict your tenant in this pandemic situation. I have again you have scope to discuss with your client or tenant how they will deal with it. But it doesn't mean, I'm telling you again, even if they don't pay now, for both cases, for residential and commercial cases, it never, the Coronavirus Act 2020 never mentioned that the tenant does not have to pay. The tenant has to pay today or tomorrow, maybe after 3 months, maybe after 30th of September, but they have to pay. So that is the situation. Slightly, that landlord should be slightly, please be patient until 30th September for residential and until August for commercial purposes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anwar Bhai, for your detailed explanations. I hope whoever actually watching our program now, I mean, they have clear indications about the tenant and landlord rights. Now, viewers, whoever watching our program, if you could kindly, if you have any questions, you can always leave a message. I can see many people are watching the program live now. You can leave your message, so at some point of the program, we will answer your questions. Thank you, Shumon Roy. You are watching from Swindon. Then Abdul Hakim Bhai, you are also watching. You dropped a question for us. So you ask us a question about that. Okay, let me bring your questions on the screen so we can answer easily. You mentioned, is the business rates for 1 year is waived or deferred? And is it applicable to warehouse in a business park? Dabir bhai, correct me if I'm wrong. So far, I know that business rates for 2020-21 has been waived for
Yes,
most
it
of.
is. It is a relief. It's a waive. It's not deferred. You don't need to pay it.
Right. So it's been waived. So most of the businesses will not pay any business rates in current tax year. Obviously, whether is applicable for business park or any specific warehouse, that you need to double check with your specific council. But as a general rule, 2020-21 business rates, especially for small and medium businesses, has been waived. But I would rather request you to double check with council website. Thank you, Hakim Bhai, for watching us and actually asking us the live questions. Now, Dabir Bhai, I would like to discuss a little bit about self-employment. But before I go in detail, because I would like to talk about extensions and everything, if you could tell us a little bit about actually what sort of people are self-employed in our community. When we're dealing with a lot of clients, a lot of clients are self-employed. People don't understand what is self-employment, what is limited company, what is director. So what sort of self-employed clients actually we are dealing with most of the times? If you can give us a little bit of background, then I'll talk about their financial support scheme. Thank you, Dabir.
Yes. So, Mr. Ajit, as you being, serving our community for, more than 10 years now, you know that the self-employed people within our community generally are maybe cab drivers, people maybe having a saloon or, sometimes even grocery shops, some of the grocery shops, they run as sort of self-employed. The main difference of self-employed and limited companies, self-employed, they are actually the owner themselves. They don't form any company through company's house. There are different way of treatment in terms of tax purposes, legality purposes. There are different way. The legal structures are different for limited companies and self-employed. But regards to the COVID-19 scenarios, because of the self-employed people, as you will be discussing soon, sometimes they don't run payroll, for example, and they don't pay themselves through payroll, and they don't cover with the furlough schemes as such. And that's why government has introduced a different type of scheme for the self-employed people. So and you might be aware of that lots of our community businessmen actually run their business nowadays. Some of the maybe Uber driver, for example, maybe some people who are working with Deliveroo, for example, like delivering the restaurant food to door. Those type of people actually running their business as a self-employed. And I think this is a good time, if you can discuss about what type of scheme help they have available from the government side, please.
Thank you, Dabir bhai, for explaining actually who are the self-employed. As you know that self-employed people actually are backbone of the nation, because in United Kingdom, a lot of small business starts with self-employment. Cab driver, Uber driver, CIS contractor, as you rightly mentioned, anybody on construction industry, they all starts with self-employment. Now, due to coronavirus, COVID-19 situation, since March, all work has been stopped. And due to that, everybody is in-house. So what government has announced? Government has announced to give them some support. And what is the support? Government has said a self-employed individual can have a maximum of £2,500 each month equivalent, a max 80% of their average declared monthly profit. So 80% of their declared profit monthly, a maximum of £2.5 grand. So for 3 months, they can have £7,500. So £7,500 কিন্তু সেলফ-এমপ্লয়েডরা নিতে পারে 3 মাসের জন্য, এবং সেটা তাদের ডিক্লেয়ার্ড প্রফিটের 80% বেশি হবে না। যারা 18-19 সেলফ এমপ্লয়েড ছিলেন, এই প্রণোদনাটা পাওয়ার জন্য আপনাকে অবশ্যই 18-19 সেলফ এমপ্লয়েড থাকতে হবে। আমি আবারও বলছি, সেলফ এমপ্লয়েডের বেনিফিটটা পেতে হলে আপনাকে অবশ্যই 2018-19 সেলফ এমপ্লয়েড হতে হবে। If you have to have this benefit, you must be self-employed in 2018-19 tax year, and you are still self-employed, but obviously due to COVID-19 situation, you could not avail the work, so your job status has been affected, and that's why government is proposing you to get some sort of finance. Now the good news, people are saying we extended the situations. So government has proposed now 3 more months. So they extended for 3 more months. So clients who hasn't applied yet, you must finish your application soon to get those 3 months support. And in August, you can apply for another 3 months benefit. But only difference is in August, you're not claiming 80%, you can only claim 70%. So 70% of your a maximum of 6,570. So 6,570 in total for 3 months, which is equivalent to 70% of your declared profit for last tax year. Now, আপনি যদি self-employed থাকেন 2016-17 থেকে, তাহলে গভর্নমেন্ট যেটা করবে, they will make an average 2016-17, 17-18 and 18-19. So আপনি যদি 2016-17 না হন, 17-18 হন, then they will make an average 17-18 and 18-19. But if you are self-employed in 18-19, they will only do the average of 18-19. So it actually all depends. So good news is government has extended the self-employed support scheme for another 3 months, and that portion of support you will only get in August. So first 3 months you can get it now, and next 3 months you can get in August. Now you can also get this benefit as well as you can also start the work. So that's the beauty of it. So আপনারা যারা এই বেনিফিটটা নেবেন, এই বেনিফিটটা আপনারা নেবেন, কিন্তু আপনারা কিন্তু কাজও করতে পারবেন। তার মানে হলো গভর্নমেন্ট যে বেনিফিটটা দিচ্ছে সেটা কিন্তু ট্যাক্সেবল ইনকাম। আরেকটা জিনিস মনে রাখতে হবে, this is your taxable income. Let's say for example you receive 2.5 grand, 2,000 pound from government. Now it's not tax free. You have to pay tax and national insurance on that income on your future tax return. So viewers, I think we made ourselves clear that self-employed support scheme has now been extended for 3 more months. So in total is 6 months. First 3 months payment you should claim it now, and next 3 months payment you can claim in August. So it's a great thing. So Dabir, you want to add something up?
I just wanted to add one more thing with this, that we know that self-employed people, they pay payment on account in July, but government has actually deferred that payment on account. You can pay your payment on account until 31st January next tax year. This is one thing. And another thing I just wanted to emphasize on with you actually, whatever you mentioned that, self-employed people still can go to work and claim that benefit. To be honest, this is a better option compared to furlough scheme, because furlough scheme, if you go for work, if you work full-time, you cannot be furloughed. If you work part-time, you are flexible furloughed. So this is something different. Actually, in that case, self-employed people, because they take the risk to do the business, government has actually balanced it to some extent.
Thank you. Dabir bhai, আমরা কিছু কোশ্চেন পাচ্ছি। Mr. Sanjay Kumar Roy actually asked us 2 questions. So thank you for watching our program. So we'll try to answer your questions now. So Dabir bhai, the question is actually belong to self-employment situation. So the question I'm reading, you can also see on the screen. If I am a self-employed lawyer, what would be the name of my business? I was asking while opening a business bank account. So Anwar bhai, you are a great example. Actually, if you are a self-employed lawyer, I believe the trading name should be your name, isn't it? Anwar bhai, any comments? Sorry, Anwar bhai, 1 second. I actually muted. Sorry, Anwar bhai. Yes.
Okay. It depends, and it depends on particular person how they deal with it. So if you are a self-employed lawyer, you have 2 options. Number 1, if you are a qualified lawyer, you have no option to go for a self-employed unless you open your own firm. In the own firm, you will be a director. There will be a corporate tax in there, not the self-employed person. But in some situation, you can work at a law firm when you will work as a either consultant or this type of way. In that situation, you can use your own name, but it is better to use a legal consulting this type of name, so that your own personality, your self-employed capacity will increase more, and you can market it properly. You can also open a company in the company house in a new name, and you can work as a consultant to a law firm.
Thank you, Anwar bhai. I think more precisely for the bank purpose, if you haven't opened a limited company yet, you can use your name as a self-employed. Let's say you're Mr. Rahman, and you can say it's Rahman Solicitors, because you're self-employed, nobody can oppose on that name. So legal entity actually form when you open a company.
No. Ajit, let me, sorry to interrupt. The name solicitor is a very restricted name. Nobody can use in that way. Either they have to be registered with the Solicitor Regulation Authority. After that, they can use this word. Otherwise, it is a restricted word. You cannot use that word. Say, like, for example, you open some solicitor limited. You can open a company, but you cannot use it. You cannot practice in this form as a debt solicitor company unless that has been approved by the Solicitor Regulation Authority. There is a clear.
Yes, you rightly said that. Sorry to interrupt. That you rightly said that before you use the name solicitors, obviously you have to be registered with a law agency. That is must.
Yes.
That is must. So we are assuming that this gentleman.
But as a solicitor, sorry to interrupt again. Sorry, Ajit. But as a solicitor, you can work 2 ways. You can work as an individual. So, for example, I don't belong to any firm. I will work as an individual solicitor. In that situation, you can work as an individual solicitor. You will register to the SRA as an individual solicitor. And in that time, you can work as a self-employed there. But when you will be enrolled in the firm, you can work as a consultant and then be a self-employed person. So that is a different way for the solicitor. There are some restrictions in there.
Thank you, Anwar bhai. Actually, thank you, Jini kosto kore message diyechen. Actually, legal profession is very complex. So I would say before you put any name to the bank, double check with your law society, because you're regulated by a law society. But as a general principle, if any self-employed individual come to me and say, I don't have any trading name, what shall I put as a trading name as a self-employed individual? My answer will be, you can put your name as a business name. But you are a legal professional, so I would say you should consult with Law Society for further clarifications. Thank you. Your next question was that if I have started my work as a self-employed, can I apply for second time grant in August? Dabir bhai, what is your suggestion on that? I think we already answered. Sorry, Dabir bhai, sorry, you are muted.
I think Ajit, you have already answered the question earlier that government has extended for another 3 months.
So the answer is that actually they can still do it.
Yeah.
As long as you declare the income to the tax return.
The crucial part is you should have done your 18-19 tax year submission, self-assessment.
Yeah. So the answer to the question, if you even have started as a self-employed, yes, you can apply for the second grant in August, but you have to mention this grant to your future tax return. So I hope you got your answer. Thank you. So Dabir bhai, can I request you to focus something on a business grant and the discretionary grant, please, if you don't mind.
Ajit, I think it's very important that we try to understand the discretionary grant now, because with the business grant, to be honest, all the businesses most of them has already got the communication from the council if they have got the grant, because council is dealing with it. They have all the information, what is the rateable value of the premises or businesses they are running, so they are communicating with them. Normally we have a small business grant where you get £10,000 up to £10,000. If you are a retailer or in the leisure industry or restaurant, you can get 10,000 or up to £25,000 depending on your rateable value. But I think we need to consider more about now on the discretionary one. Why discretionary? Discretionary is actually government is giving money to the council, and this discretionary grant called local council discretionary grant. Every council has, some of the council already have started. So if you don't get any grant, small or retail grant or whatever it is, it's good to check with your council website now whether you can get a grant, discretionary grant. Normally, if you are a market trader, you sell vegetables, you sell these sort of things, it can be part-time or full-time. You might be allowed to get some grant from the council. If you share an office with other people, a workspace, you might be able to get some grant from the council. Because normally this type of businesses cannot get access to the small business grant or the retail or leisure business grant. And that's why the government has given the fund to the council with some guideline. Then council can tailor according to their requirement. And for example, Tower Hamlet Council actually open already, so people can apply. But I was checking the Newham Council. I think they will be starting from I think it's 25th of June today. Maybe they are starting from today. But be careful. Most of this council, the application is finishing within 3rd or 6th July, something like that. So it's good time. You can check it. You just Google, if whatever council your business is, it can be Newham, it can be, Tower Hamlet, Ealing Council, just Google it, local council discretionary grant, Ealing or Tower Hamlet. Then you just look at what is the deadline, what type of eligibility they have. It's good to apply, because if you don't get the small business grant or other type of grant, maybe you will get something like that. So that is my take on that. Ajit.
Thank you, Dabir bhai. Actually, I just like to share a little bit of experience from my side. I dealt with few clients in City of London. So what the City of London Council saying about discretionary fund, that if you are working, there are a lot of shops who does in the street trader.
Yeah.
There is some virtual office who doesn't really have business rates.
No.
So City of London Council made around, I think, if I'm not wrong, £800,000 available. And they shortlisted few traders. They shortlisted few business individuals who only can apply. So you rightly said this discretionary fund is completely discretionary and it depends council to council. So our request to all our viewers, if you haven't applied yet, visit your council website and actually decide that what would be the best thing to do. If you are confused, if you still have doubt, do write to them because council tend to answer you in a week time. I hope we cleared this section. So Anwar bhai, I will go to you about one specific thing. You know, the economy is now is moving to a recession. Now, what will happen? We will see a lot of lease property will get empty. A lot of lease property they will be trying to sell to other people. So there will be a lot of transactions going on in future. Now, if you tell our viewers in short, little bit about these things happening in future in coming 2-3 months, that to change a lease and everything, what they have to do and how they can handle it, that'll be great. But in this minute, I'll just take 1 minute break from you. And so I'll come back to you after that.
Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions, chartered accountants, business and tax advisors based in Essex and central London. We have highly trusted and professionally qualified chartered accountants ready to assist you with every step, from business startup to your final submissions with HMRC. We've been serving a wide variety of clients since 2007, covering a range of sectors from consultancy, catering and transport to travel, construction, public health, landlord accounts, CIS and many more.
Ultimate Accounting is my accountant. I think they're amazing at what they do and I'd recommend them to anybody.
I'm running a restaurant. Ultimate Accountant is my accountant, and I really recommend anybody.
Excellent service. Would recommend him to anyone.
So for all of your accounting needs, including bookkeeping, VAT, payroll and tax planning services, you can contact us today with complete confidence. Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions, New Broad Street House, Liverpool Street, London, and 27 Longbridge Road, Barking. Or visit our website at www.ultimateaccountingsolutions.co.uk.
Thank you. Thank you, Anwar bhai. We just took a 1 minute advertisement break. So Anwar bhai, I'll go to you and I'll request you to say something about these new lease things. Thank you. Anwar bhai.
Thank you, Ajit. It's a very good question and also very important in this situation. We have lots of inquiries regarding these issues. We are surprised that nobody is dealing with this type of matter in our community. Especially ethnic minority have been suffering a lot due to this pandemic situation. You will be surprised to understand that in the lease there are some provisions. But I should go in details, but you have a very limited time. But let me make it very short. In the lease, there is a provision for break clause. Unfortunately, most of the break clauses they fix at the time of executing the lease or granting the lease. In the break clause, there is a provision. It is a express contract between the landlord and the tenant that after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years, after 1 year, you can break the lease. Other than that, there is no provision to come out of the lease. Now, in this pandemic situation, what our client will do, what is their possibility to do? There is another way to quit from the lease. It's called surrender of lease. Now, for surrendering of the lease, the tenant has to take consent from the landlord. If landlord is agreed, then tenant can come out of the situation. They say, I cannot pay, my situation is very bad, I cannot pay the rent, blah blah, this thing, so can you please give me a relief so that you can rent it out to somebody else and I can get rid of it. If landlord is not agreed with the surrender of the lease, it will be terribly a difficult situation for the tenant to come out of the lease. Most of the time we suggest for surrender of the lease. This is let me give you another brief idea about the situation. There is some provision, legal provision, which is section 2428 of 1954 Landlord and Tenant Act. There are some provision in there, but unfortunately those provisions are not for dealing with this type of situation. Even the recent practice directions issued by the High Court, which is 25DZ, this type of situation, there is no indication to come out of the lease. They have prohibited, court has given a direction that you are not allowed, the landlord is not allowed to evict the tenant in case of commercial situation for until this period. Now, I told you before, it is not this coronavirus Act 2020 does not give you plenty of opportunity not to pay any rent. You have to pay the rent either today or 3 months later. You have to pay the rent, or even 1 year later. In this situation, it is advisable to go for a request for a surrender or introducing a break clause. This area of law is really technically highly technical. I request all the viewers, please do not take any decision until and unless you are seriously legally advised. This type of now let me explain to you the lease situation, how it works. In a lease situation, when you are granted a lease, there are a couple of issues in there, lots of division in your lease. Nowadays, it is almost standard in all over the UK. In the first paragraph, there will be a first provision, there will be a the landlord and the tenant position. It is a mandatory position. Then you have to couple of several sectors. One sectors I have told you, the rent review. Let me give you a clear idea about the rent review. Actually, this is a very important point as well. Rent review is slightly complicated area of landlord and tenant law. No, because all the leases are nowadays clearly expressed. All provisions. That's the reason nowadays a lease is about 30, 40, 50 pages, because all the people with the lawyers, when we draft a lease, we carefully observe all sections which needs to be dealt with in the lease. In that situation, say most common terminology for rent review is market value. We say most of the say like 90% lease will say the rent will be determined after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years, or after 5 years on the basis of the market price. Now, to determine the market value is a very complicated procedure now. Although we use surveyor to find out the rent on particular month or day or year, this is one procedure. Now, this surveyors, appointment of surveyors is again complicated. Landlord will say, use my surveyor. Tenant will say, use my surveyor. There will be a very, very complicated situation in that time in rent review situation. Now, standard condition is the landlord and tenant should jointly instruct a surveyor to recommend a rent. Now, it is our experience, different surveyors offers different type of rate. It is surprisingly the market value, I don't know how it differs and what is their standard criteria to fix this market value. It differs. Now, if we appoint or instruct a surveyor, he gave 20,000, another surveyor might say 25,000, another surveyor might say 18,000. They always vary. Now, if it varies, it is a very complicated procedure to overcome this situation until and unless we go back to court. Another solution in this situation is arbitration council. In most of the 90% of the leases, there is a provision for arbitration. Now, in arbitration council, it's not straightforward again. Arbitration or mediation services, they can only propose. They cannot give you a mandatory ruling like the court can. Arbitration council or the mediation services, they will say this is the estimated solution. You both sides agree or disagree, it's up to you. Now come back to court then. It's a very complicated scenario to go back to court in case of rent review situation. Court then will come back a conclusion on the basis of the submission of both sides. It is again a huge costly litigation procedure involved in there. I request all the viewers, please, before you be granting a lease or taking a lease, you have to be careful with a proper lawyer to advise you properly. These all are express conditions. Now let me come back to Ajit, the recent issue, how our client can overcome this situation. If you cannot arrange either surrender of lease or there is no break clause, the only solution you have, you can sell. We say sell the property to somebody else. When we say sell, it means in legal terminology we say assignment of the lease, meaning the lease conditions, what it was at the time of granting the lease will remain same, only the title will pass to a new buyer, nothing else. All whole lease which was granted at the time of granting the lease, it will as it is passed to the new buyer. Nothing will be changed in there at the time of assignment. Yes, there is a provision, we say if there is some contradiction in the lease, we can vary the lease. In that situation, again I say it's also a critical area. Please contact with the professional person, those who are expert in this area, before vary any lease. This is another solution for you. So only only solution left is to assign the lease or sell your property to a new buyer, either money or without money. Just go out of it, read out of it. That is the only best solution for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anwar bhai. I really appreciate your this detail, because what we are predicting that economy is going to a recession, and a lot of commercial property will be empty due to not paying the rent, due to not having the business, because keeping social distancing and running a successful business will be a challenge for these coming days. So whoever want to buy a new shop, whoever want to sell a new shop, new premises, they will need solicitors, they will need accountant, they will need financial mortgage advisor. That's why we will try to cover all these aspects in our programs, so over the time you get benefited. So whoever is watching us with this much of patience, I really thank you from our side. We'll be finishing our program in just 5-6 minutes. Now, one thing I wish to explain about furlough scheme, because the furlough scheme is becoming flexible. But before I go to furlough scheme, can I ask Dabir bhai to explain a little bit about how all these employees are like? Do you really think that all these employees who've been furloughed now, they will come back to job, or there will be redundancy? Like, what is your experience telling you? Like, showing to this kind of economic situation, I mean, we are expecting a lot of redundancy going to happen. So can you put a little bit light on that, please, Dabir bhai? Thank you.
I think what I was reading recently, recent research shows that at least 1/4 of the furlough employees will be redundant in the long run. So redundancy is something inevitable. We don't want to talk about it. This is something will be a drastic change for people's life, but this is something will happen. That is the reality, because we have seen the businesses has suffered a lot. They are ran out of cash. Even government is supporting a lot, but the main purpose of the business is to make money, to sell things, goods or services, but this is being stopped for months now. So they will be suffering. Yes, that was, I was reading today, to be honest, that 1 quarter, this is the estimate now, 1 quarter of the furlough schemes employee will be redundant in the long run, unfortunately.
Thank you, Dabir. So it's not a good news, isn't it? Like we don't know how far the community will suffer.
Ajit, can I put some suggestion in there, please? This is because it is came to as a legal area now. This redundancy is a legal area.
Sure.
I request viewers, please.
I will give you after my furlough thingy, so then you can tell us about this legal side of that. So viewers, you just heard from Dabir Bhai. He is an experienced accountant and also have good connections with big firms. That redundancy is quite inevitable, because the way the economy is running now, the way the economy is going to recession, after this furlough scheme ends, the business will not be similar like it used to be before March. So your employer may not be able to keep you on board. So employees who are getting the furlough payment now, probably 80%, gradually they get 70%, then they get 60%. But some employer are not in a situation to pay you any penny. Think about the pub, think about the hotels, restaurants, and them. If they don't have any income, then how they will actually feed you through? Anyways, what I'm trying to tell you that there is a new terminology came called flexible furlough. From July, you should be able to work. Hi. You should be able to work part-time, and your employer can pay you for part-time salary. So from July is becoming flexible. Like it used to be, you can't work for your employer, but now you can work. So if your contracted hours is 20 hours and you work 10 hours, then for the rest of the 10 hours, proportionately, they can furlough you. However, for employer, যারা বিজনেস চালাচ্ছেন তাদেরকে বলছি যে অগাস্টে কিন্তু আপনার এমপ্লয়ার এনআইটা এবং পেনশনটা আপনাকে দিতে হবে। So in August, you have to bear the cost of pension and employer NI. And in September, government will only pay you 70%. And in October, government will pay you only 60%. So these flexible furlough things are getting changed. If you have any questions, please feel free to write to us message and we'll come back to you. Thank you. Anwar Bhai, we are nearly closing the program. However, I'll give you 2 minutes to discuss about the legal side of these prospective redundancy issues. Anwar Bhai, thank you.
Thank you. No, I'm not going to take 2 minutes, just 1 minute, just to give one important information to the employer. Please do not make any redundancy, because redundancy is a complicated legal procedure. It depends on you have to pay some amount on the basis of their total length of their job. There is some calculations in there. So please take this in your mind. Make calculations properly. Otherwise, don't make any redundancy. You will be lost. If they go to court, that there will be a problem in there. So be careful about the redundancy as well. That is my request. Thank you.
Thank you, Anwar Bhai. So we are nearly finishing the program now. So can I request Dabir Bhai to have your conclusory note, please, Dabir Bhai?
Yeah, but just to be in line with Anwar Bhai's comment, yes, redundancy is something, obviously legal aspect is there to pay the minimum statutory redundancy payment should be there anyway. My suggestion for the businesses will be who can afford to keep their employees. Talk with your employees. You might recruit 10 employees. Talk with about, this is inevitable. Talk with about maybe salary reduction, 10%, 20%, whatever. It's a sort of, treat them as sort of family or a team member. You've been working for years to run your business. if you can keep most of the employees, maybe with a percentage of reduction of salary or whatever it is, then maybe in the long run, after 1 year or 2 years, if we have hopefully we have a vaccine or something, then economy will boost up, world will be we go back to the before what we had, then maybe something we can maybe increase the salary again. So my message will be, try your best. Even to my the employees also need to understand that employer are struggling. So I think if both sides come together and take some sacrifices, then maybe we can minimize those sort of problems within our community. Please.
Thank you, Dabir bhai. Anwar bhai, what is your concludatory note?
Thank you, Ajit and Dabir bhai. Thanks for inviting me to come and share my views with the viewers. What I have mentioned in my discussions, this area of law is slightly complicated. I request everyone, please do not make any decision without getting proper advice. Then it may bring you to a costly litigation. I request everyone, including redundancy, there is as Dabir bhai mentioned, there is a statutory requirement in there. Please make all reasonable steps to take proper advice in these legal areas. These legal areas are very, very complicated. It's not like immigration, then you will send application and done. But it is something you need to know from the proper person. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for being this program today. Hopefully, if we have any further chance, we will come and share our views with you. Thank you very much for today watching us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anwar bhai. ভিউয়ার্স, আপনারা যারা কষ্ট করে আমাদের প্রোগ্রাম এতক্ষণ দেখলেন, আমরা চেষ্টা করেছি to let you know all the updates, to let you know different aspects of government's benefits, job retention scheme, then furlough scheme, then business grant, discretionary grant, many things we covered, landlord tenant issues. This is our intention to help you throughout these pandemic situations. We believe if we work hard, if we work together as a community, we can actually stay together and we can succeed whatever ventures we are doing. Recession is coming, so we have to be well prepared. As an accountant, as a lawyer, our always ambition to help our community business entrepreneurs. If you have any trouble, any problem, do visit our website. Let us know. We'll be more than happy to assist you. So I would thanks all my guests because they give their important time to us, and we are really grateful that our viewers learned many good things from them. So I'm saying good night to everyone, and we are
Thank you. Good night.
Closing the program here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions, chartered accountants, business and tax advisors based in Essex and central London. We have highly trusted and professionally qualified chartered accountants ready to assist you with every step, from business startup to your final submissions with HMRC. We have been serving a wide variety of clients since 2007, covering a range of sectors from consultancy, catering and transport, to travel, construction, public health, landlord accounts, CIS and many more.
Ultimate Accounting is my accountant. I think they're amazing at what they do and I'd recommend them to anybody.
I'm running a restaurant. Ultimate Accountant is my accountant, and I really recommend anybody.
Excellent service. Would recommend him to anyone.
So for all of your accounting needs, including bookkeeping, VAT, payroll and tax planning services, you can contact us today with complete confidence. Ultimate Accounting and Tax Solutions, New Broad Street House, Liverpool Street, London, and 27 Longbridge Road, Barking. Or visit our website at www.ultimateaccountingsolutions.co.uk.